Yeah.
Welcome to the Rhinebeck Scoop. I'm your host, Jennifer C., and I'm dishing out social commentary about our beloved town. If you like this show, please give it 5 stars on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Also, tell a friend. Rhinebeck, this is your radio show, so please give me topics you'd like to discuss, DM me, email me, or leave a voicemail. And if you'd like to be anonymous, I understand it's a small town. I won't say your name unless you specify. Today, we are discussing the affordable housing crisis, our pet peeves, and why I can eat gluten again. Yes. So first, a little bougie chat. Tell us, Matty and Jen, this is the last day of Passover, which is so exciting. So what do you love about Passover?
During Passover, you read the Haggadah, and the Seder means order. And I love the fact that I get together with my relatives, people I don't see very often, and we conduct this ritual that I've been doing since I was a little kid. And there's this part called the 4 questions, and the youngest male / youngest child reads the 4 questions, and then I taught my brother, and then I taught my older son, then I taught my younger son, and I just really like these rituals. It's the same food. At this point, I'm feeling, I'm not going to lie, a little blocked up from all the matzah. It's a little binding, but it's a really wonderful way to celebrate with your family, with my family.
Do you have challah bread?
We can't have challah bread because you can't have anything made from flour, legumes, corn, rice. Only things made from potato or matzah, like matzah meal or potato
so you
starch.
have latkes and...
Yes, you can have potato chips, baked potato. You can have like matzah pizza, anything made out of matzah.
So this is the Seder meal?
This is for 8 days.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know. How did I not know this? That's really interesting.
So people, give Jews a break. They're a little grumpy. They're a little gassy. They're a little blocked up. A lot of eggs, a lot of matzah.
Okay.
A lot. You can eat, protein.
Can you drink alcohol?
I do. You're not supposed to have. It's supposed to come from potato. So like potato vodka.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to have like whiskey, and it has to be a derivative of potato.
Okay, so if you've seen a lot of Jewish people walking around Rhinebeck really fucked up on potato vodka, we now know why. We now understand. That's
it gets
okay.
us through the night.
We get it. Matty, how about you? What do you love?
We never did too many Passovers growing up because we were totally lapsed Jews with Christmas trees. But I did remember that we had to, or I did, take the Haggadah and edit it down so it was only 1 page. But I do enjoy the matzahs. Stritz's matzahs, of course, is the only one anyone should ever buy.
For the unleavened experience.
Exactly.
Do you do matzo ball soup?
I do.
I like matzo ball soup.
That's the best part of the Passover meal.
That's good.
Yes. And then the afikonen.
That's right.
Hidden matzah for the child to find.
So you break the matzah in half during the Seder, and then an adult hides it, and then all the kids have to find the afikomen because you can't complete the Seder without finding the piece of the matzah that's missing.
Have you ever fucked with a kid and just like thrown it in the garbage and they've never found it?
No.
I was going to say Jen might have.
Jewish people are much nicer than others, I guess. Now this is the last day, so happy Passover to you.
Thank you.
And all the good wishes for the new year, which I don't think this is your new year. That's Yom Kippur, right?
Rosh Hashanah.
That's
correct.
Rosh Hashanah,
Close
right?
enough.
It's close. We'll give you full credit. You were very close.
Hey, I try. Okay, so we want to move on to Boujee Banter, and I want to talk about this affordable housing situation because it's a tough one. I think this is very complicated. Last episode, we were talking about, adult parenting and the whole thing, and that's complicated, but I think this one's even more complicated. So this comes from the Hudson Valley pilot. The Hudson Valley, which was once considered a more affordable option than big city living, is increasingly unaffordable. This is attributed to an influx of new residents and a boom in the number of houses being bought as second homes are listed on short-term rental platforms. Fair market rents have increased by as much as 45% since 2019 in some locations in the Hudson Valley. So now they're saying too in this article that places like Kingston, Beacon, and Rhinebeck are just becoming completely unaffordable. So this is very interesting because the village of Rhinebeck or the town of Rhinebeck is trying to solve this problem. Do you guys think it's solvable?
It can be mitigated through some affordable housing, but it's not going to be enough, even if they get exactly what they want. it has to be done on a state level and it has to be mandated with legislation.
I don't think that there's a solution, frankly, that's going to work for everybody.
Yeah, it's a tough one. And I went on to Nextdoor, which you guys know, I love that app. And this woman was saying, she was asking if anyone could rent to her family. I think it was a family of 3 or 4. She had a budget of $2,000 a month, and she kept getting rejected because when she was filling out the rental application, she had to prove she can pay 3 times the rent. And apparently this is a new thing. I don't remember doing that back in my day. Did we do that back in?
It was like I think it was first month, last month, and security. So it is like 3 times.
No,
Yeah.
that's...
this is in addition?
No, this is that they have to prove income that they can pay 3 times the month.
Oh, you have to pay $6,000? Oh, I thought you meant like you needed to provide. Oh, wow. That's really tough.
This gets back to what we
Wow.
talked about last episode.
Yeah, I was a little shocked by that. And she even said she had really good references from 2 former landlords. And she also has always paid the rent on time. And she has the references from the landlords to prove this. And she said she still keeps getting rejected. So someone came on the forum and basically said, listen, this is why I've moved 6 counties up. You can't afford this place anymore. Unless you have thousands upon thousands of dollars, you just can't. And then it becomes an issue because even if you can get a mortgage where you're only paying around $2,000 to $3,000 a month, which I know is still a lot, but it's still a lot to save for the down payment. So I feel badly because it's like Matty said, I don't know how you solve this situation, right? It has to be from the state. I understand that. But then how do you make it so everything's accessible? I'll tell you, our story is we bought our farm here right before COVID, October 2019. If we didn't, we couldn't have afforded that place. There's no way. If I was trying to buy that farm after 2020 or after March 2020, forget it.
Well, think about it also that there's usually this natural progression, right? Where people sell their houses, they downsize, and then there's more available inventory. But if you sell it, there's no place to go. Where are you going to afford to live?
Yeah.
Right? Because the interest rates are high. This is going to sound like a crazy number, but like, let's say you can sell your house for $800,000. Where are you going to buy a house for $600,000 in this area? So people are also holding on to their homes because they don't have a place to go.
Yeah, I understand. And they were saying that in COVID, when people started looking around, I would say more like April, June in COVID, they were saying, real estate agents were saying to people, if you don't have another place to move and you sell, you're in the shits because there's nothing you can do. So I completely understand all that. I think it's something where you have to look at a situation, if you're in a certain situation, in a very alternative way, because in order for us to pay the down payment, and we paid a large down payment on our farm, we lived in a camper for 2.5 years. Not everyone's willing to do that. That's a big sacrifice to live in a 5th wheel camper during winter for 2.5 years. And that's what we did. And we're so glad we did it, but it's not for everyone. I think what's going to happen is a lot of these alternative solutions are going to start coming forward, which is good. I don't think that's a bad thing. So my prediction, I love making predictions, is I think tiny homes are going to get bigger. That made no sense. Tiny homes are going to become more of a thing. I really do think that. I also think that these huge McMansions that were built in the 80s and the 90s, they are now going to become multi-generational homes. I think you're going to start seeing grandma, grandpa, mom and dad and their 3 kids and all their, family living there. I've seen that a little bit starting. So I think in these McMansions, when you used to have a family of 4, I think it's now going to be like a family of 10, a family of 12, if not more. That's my next prediction. I think we're going to move to a more European model. And then something that's very European is, for example, they have co-housing in the Netherlands. That's the most famous one, where you all live and you get a little piece of the building, and then you all have this kitchen and you all cook together. I think that type of thing is going to start becoming more popular.
I'd love that.
It exists here. In fact, I think the first co-housing project in the
Assisted
United
living.
States. Well, no, I wasn't saying that. Co-housing is specifically different than that. But I think one of the very first co-housing projects in the United States was actually in Saugerties.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Decades ago.
Did it work?
Yeah, it's still there.
I think it's a great idea.
It reduces loneliness and isolation. And it's sort of like a built-in family. It could be really helpful in many levels.
I agree. So anyway, let's see how this all comes to fruition going forward. And I think it'll be a topic for quite some time. So let's move on to our favorite, white people problems. And today we are talking about our pet peeves. And I can't wait. Jen's pointing to Matty.
He has such good ones. Oh my gosh.
Wow, I'm excited. So I can't wait to hear about my producer's pet peeves. So who wants to go first, Jen or Matty?
Jen, you
want really? Because so then I'll start with the boring and bland, and then we'll build up to Matty's awesome.
No, I'm sure
you're never boring. When are you boring and bland? You're never boring and bland.
These are kind of like not out of the box ones. But my pet peeve is when people are rude or obnoxious or dismissive to wait staff in a restaurant, clerks in stores like the Epicurean or other local establishments. And, it doesn't take that much effort just to everyone has bad days, but really nobody's really out to get you. And I find that to be just not good form. That's one of my top peeves. Okay. Secondarily, I don't like it when I text or email people and they don't respond. I feel abandoned. I feel pushed aside, and I don't like it. Okay, that's it.
I think those are really good, and I especially like the second one. And I'm going to say something about the second one. I think with certain people, not everyone, it shows a bit of narcissism on their part when they refuse to respond. And I have actually ended friendships, not many, maybe a couple, to where I've nicely asked the person, hey, how are you? I haven't heard from you in a while. I don't want a whole thing. Just how are you? Mm-hmm. They won't text me back for 2 weeks and be like, oh, sorry, I've been so busy. I'm good. Busy. How are you? Friendship ended. I literally wrote a letter to someone saying, I don't want to be friends with you anymore because you have no sense of just being a good friend. So when I see that personality in someone, I don't like it and I don't fuck with that. So yeah, I agree with that. I'm there for you.
On that topic, I think I used to be more irritated, but I'm totally zen about it now, having produced a Gen Z show now and expecting 24 to 72 hour response times.
No, but that's fine.
Fine.
That's within the realm of acceptability.
Oh, so you're not saying right away. You mean within a couple of days.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah. 100%.
Okay, that's fine.
No, some people never respond.
Yeah, no, I don't.
Or
like
to
that's
Jen's,
unacceptable.
2 weeks is that's
2 weeks is a bit long.
Too much.
Yeah.
Really I don't even want to hear from you after then. Or
I don't remember why I texted you.
Yes, or that. Or, it's something where I text someone and it takes forever to respond. It's like, exactly, what are we even talking about? Why am I having this relationship? That I don't like the disrespect. Sorry. Because you know what? I'm going to say one more thing about this. I have a friend who I love to death and she's awesome and she's a parent and she is nice enough to text me and say, listen, Jen, I can't answer your question right now, but she said, I'm going to get back to you in a couple days.
Well, that's totally reasonable if someone says that.
Yep. Right. But I'm saying some people, they either don't respond or they take weeks. And if you do that, I'm just telling all of Rhinebeck, you're out of my life.
Yeah. No, I mean, if someone is busy and they just say, we'll get back to you later.
Absolutely.
That's beyond acceptable.
Well, that's a response.
Yeah.
I'm talking
totally
about
fine.
No response. And so, Matt, I can't wait to see Jen's response to your.
Oh, my pet peeves. I'm going to name names. Ooh. And I'm going to go. Oh, no. It's not people, but places. And I'm going to talk about food. My number one pet peeve, which really exploded during the pandemic, is the concept of the smash burger. Now, the smash burger is only served well done. Basically, the concept behind the smash burger is it's a very thin patty that's smashed onto the griddle.
Okay.
And as Kenji Lopez who's a chef, would describe it, in its optimum form, it caramelizes and is sweet and delicious. And there are a few places in the city, like George Motz's American Hamburger or Happiest Hour in New York City, they're both in Manhattan, that can make an incredibly good smash burger. Putting those aside, for the most part, the restaurants are doing this. I'm going to call out the Corner in Tivoli, which used to have a great burger, and now they only do a smash burger. And you know it's a smash burger because when you ask for your burger rare, which I only like, they immediately respond with this insane phrase, it's cooked through. Once they say that, it's bad.
Bastards.
I know. What's up with that? If you can't get a rare burger, and you can't make a smash burger rare, so it's super thin, it's smashed, and it's almost always a disappointment. That's my number one complaint.
Have you ever gone up to Canada and tried to order a rare burger?
I've been in Montreal and had a rare burger.
They do it because it's illegal in Canada.
Yeah, they've done it in a good restaurant. They'll make it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's insane that it's like, I mean, any good restaurant should be able to make it so that it's black and blue, so it's cold in the center, which is the way I like it. Like steak tartare should be in the center.
Gross. Continue.
I understand. That's number one. Number two, let's go continuing on the food. Let's talk about Del's. Del's previously...
You don't want to get me started on
Well,
that.
I'm not going to talk about everything, but previously they had fried clam sandwiches. They were delicious. The new owner, I'm not going to name names, when I saw him, a very nice fellow, and said, are you going to have fried clams when he first opened? He said, no, we can't do that because I have to get another fryer for the fried clams. If you need another fryer, then get another fryer. The other Del's managed to make fried clams. What the fuck is up with that? Lastly, this applies to Del's and to Buns. They both have chocolate shakes, which are adequate. They're fine. They're made well. But if you make chocolate shakes, you have to offer the malted option. And neither of them have malted powder. What the fuck is up with that? You need to have malt powder, and you need to be able to make malteds if you're going to make chocolate shakes, or I don't know what the hell's wrong with you.
I call this segment white people problems, right? I did say that. Okay. I'm with you 100%. And I'm about to say something really explosive to completely back you up. And people aren't going to like this, but hey, come after me. Take a really good look at the ingredients in Del's ice cream.
I'm not going to talk about the ice cream.
Yeah. Take a really good look.
I have other stories we'll say off the air.
Buns uses Adirondack ice cream.
Which is very good.
Adirondack ice cream, which is very good, like you said. And so I actually stick to Buns because of that. So, but
I concur.
You like what you like. So it's all good. Those were good. They were both good. What are you saying? Yours was good too.
Great.
All right.
Yeah, that was amazing. I love both of them. Thank you so much. All right, ready for mine?
You won't get any hate mail for yours, though.
I like to keep my nose clean.
Between these two episodes, I'm definitely getting some hate mail.
Well, that's
Between
the whole
parenting
point, right?
thing. Yeah, that is the whole point. So mine are my absolute number one pet peeve of life is when people suck down their snot. I cannot fucking handle that. Like, I'm not doing it because I can't handle it. But you guys know what I mean, right?
Of course.
I think
I literally left New York City because of the subway rides in the winter, and I'd be sitting next to people and they would be just sucking down snot. So I absolutely cannot stand that. And I just had a restaurant incident recently where my husband, I bet he's more like Matty, maybe Jen too, but probably more like Matty, where he's so chill about everything. And the guy next to me at the bar was sucking down his snot while he was eating. Okay, number one, he was making grunting sounds. Yeah, it was really gross. And then he was eating really loudly, and I couldn't handle it. Like
Trifecta.
It's disgusting. Bad. It was 2 minutes in. I could not handle it. I said to my husband, I have to leave. I can't, I'm ready to throw up. So he switched places with me, my husband, and he said, oh yeah, that was really bad. Even for him to say it was really bad, it was really bad. So sucking down snot, it's disgusting. You guys don't do it. Don't let your kids do it. Please, for the love of God. Okay. And then I have another restaurant one. So it's funny that you guys, we're talking about food right now. And that is when you go to a restaurant with me, please look at the menu beforehand. I can't stand when you go to a restaurant and people are like, oh, let me see what I'm going to have. Well, I told you a fucking week ago, we're going to this restaurant. You should have looked at this shit online. And they're just sitting there and they're pouring through the menu. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I hate that. I know what I want. I know exactly what I want. I want that server to come over and say, okay, I want this, I want this, I want this. And then you can just leave us alone and you can go on your merry way, get your tip. That's all I want in life.
I think worse than that is when you go with somebody who has about 18 different changes they want to make to the item on the menu.
Oh,
Have
yeah.
you been there for that?
Yeah.
Could you change this for that? Could you change that for this? Can I have this for that? And it's like, that's not on the menu.
A very Harry Met Sally thing. Yeah, absolutely. So I have to say I have probably been that person once in a while, but
I'm not totally surprised.
But I have food sensitivities. Number two, I will say to the server, listen, I just want you to know I'm that annoying person. I will say that to them up front. I'm like, I'm that annoying person. I'm going to ask you questions about the menu, and then I'm going to, ask to sub a couple things. Just know that up front. And they're usually cool. And then I give them a big tip.
Well, that makes up for it.
Anyway, so we all have great pet peeves today. And I already know another segment I want to do with you guys. So I'll announce it now. And that is, what are the annoying things that you do that you think annoy other people? So let's think about that for next time. My husband probably has a fucking manifesto on that one. So that I thought was good. Okay, so my sour of the moment is I'm eating like an animal. Matty, I took your suggestion and I ate fries that are made with peanut oil from Five Guys, and I had no reaction.
Good.
Because they are not industrial seed oil. I've been eating way too many shortbread cookies, graham crackers, and some animal crackers. But that moves me into my sweet of the moment, which is I am able to eat gluten again. And how did this happen? This is so weird, right? Well, I did something that is not for the faint of heart at all. And I just want to say that I am not a health professional in any way. And what I'm about to say has to be absolutely supervised by a doctor. You cannot just go off and do this. So just know that. I did something called a 10-day water fast, or a water only fast, where I drank water for only 10 days. And why did I do that? Because there's something called autophagy that sets in after day 4, and it removes the disease cells from the body. So if you have chronic illness, like I have an autoimmune, it removes those cells, or starts to remove them. And then around day 7, it starts to build some new immune cells. And I did this. I had great results. I had great results backed up by blood work, by bioenergetic testing that I talk about. So if you guys look at the show notes of this episode, you can listen to these 2 episodes on my UC podcast, Ulcerative Colitis, Autoimmune Healing Journey, episodes 82 and 83, part 1 and part 2. And I'm going to tell you how I did it. I talked to the best water fasting clinic in the nation, got a consultation from them, got all my questions answered. And it works so well that I'm probably going back either later this year or earlier next year, and I'm going to do the actual water fasting clinic and do it again. So it's really interesting. I wanted to do 21 days, but I couldn't do it. So hopefully next time I'll be able to do that. But if anyone is interested in how to possibly look into and research how to clear food sensitivities and chronic illness and all that, listen to those episodes.
May I ask a question?
Yeah.
So did you introduce gluten very, very slowly and methodically, or did you just eat gluten after your fast?
You have to do a refeeding program after you do this. So I did the refeeding program, which did not have gluten, and then I started to eat gluten.
Okay, thank you.
Also, I want to add that anyone who listened to the episode with Allison Chawla, I was on day 5 or 6 of that fast, and I could barely function. And I was a complete zombie, but I came in here, I sucked it up. I recorded 2 episodes. My voice was horrendous on those episodes, but I did it. So
wow.
To leave feedback on anything I've said today, I'd love to hear all of it. Agree with me. Tell me I'm totally wrong. Whatever you want, call and leave me a voicemail at 845-307-7446. And if you're from Dells, make that to Matty. Don't make that to me. And email me at comments@radiofreerhinecliff.org. You can check out my 3 podcasts at freespiritpodcast.com and follow me on Instagram at freespiritpodcast. This radio show is produced by me, Jennifer C., Matty Rosenberg, and Jen Hammoud at Radio Free Rhinecliff. Until next time, happy Orthodox Easter, Cinco de Mayo, and happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Jen.
Thank you.
Absolutely. The next episode will drop on Tuesday, May 14th, 2024. See you in 2 weeks. Love you, RBK.
Yeah.